That was Force of Nature. I'm Michelle Mackey, joining you this morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. And I'm going to chat with the owner, Brad, in just a moment. But first, let's talk temperatures because it's certainly a cold start to the morning. In the city of Toronto, we're sitting at that 0-degree mark. But when we factor in the wind chill, feeling closer to -5. You can actually see the fog on my breath, so it's a sign that you really need to dress warm today. The city of Hamilton, we're at -1. Kitchener, -3, a similar start to the day. And Oshawa at -3, and Barrie sitting at -5. But again, factoring in those wind chill values, much colder. All right, now I'd like to introduce you to Brad, the owner here at Clembrook Christmas Farm. Now, in your opinion, I've got to ask, what makes the perfect Christmas tree?
The perfect Christmas tree is mostly in the eye of the beholder in many ways, because some people like long needles, some people like short, some like soft, and some like firm. So it's the type of tree that grew up with in many ways as well. Like in the East Coast, it would be balsam fir. In this part of Canada, probably a spruce or more of a Scotch pine. So it's all in your tradition, and that's what we're all about, tradition.
Absolutely. All right, we'll send it back inside to you in the studio. That was Force of Nature. I'm Michelle Mackey, joining you this morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. Plenty of Christmas activities to do here, including tree cutting. Of course, they also have pre-cut trees and a variety of them at that. Mr. and Mrs. Claus also come to visit every so often, including this weekend. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's talk temperatures. In Toronto, we're sitting at 0, but when we factor in that wind chill, feeling much colder at -4. So remember, you always want to dress for those wind chill temperatures. The city of Hamilton, we're at -1. Further to the north, Oshawa sitting at -3, Kitchener -3 as well, and it's a cold start to the day in Barrie. Now, I would love to introduce you to the owner of Clembrook Christmas Farm. This is Joanne. She owns the farm with her husband. Now, of course, it's the first weekend in December, so how are you expecting sales this weekend? Is it going to be a busy one?
We're expecting to be very busy this weekend.
Absolutely. And in terms of the weather, how do you find the weather affects your sales?
We find that if there's a skiff of snow, people come in droves.
Exactly. It's perfect, right? It gets you in the Christmas spirit. And with that, I'll send it back inside to Tom and Rachel. That was Force of Nature, and I can tell you the holiday spirit is in full gear here at Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. Absolutely beautiful, just in time for Christmas. Yes, we are only 20 days away. Can you believe it? And it's certainly a cold start to the morning throughout the GTA. Toronto, we're sitting at that freezing mark, but when we factor in the wind chill, feeling closer to -4. So always want to make sure you're dressing for the wind chill. As we head to the city of Hamilton, we're sitting at -1. Further to the north in Oshawa, we're sitting at -3, a similar temperature through Kitchener, and it's a very cold start to the day at -5 in Barrie. And remember, wind chill values making it feel even colder. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Brad. He is the owner here. You own it with your wife, and it's very fitting that we're here, of course, surrounded by Christmas trees, because tomorrow is actually National Christmas Tree Day. Can you tell me a little bit about what that means?
Well, National Christmas Tree Day was established by the growers associations across Canada to celebrate the tradition of the real Christmas tree, and it's great to have it. This is the third year we've declared the first Saturday in December Christmas Day, so it's great to see it. And in our case, in our particular case of the farm here, we're donating $4 of each tree sold to the Community Foundation of Halton North. So it's a promotion for us for that as well.
That's wonderful. So in the spirit of giving, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll send it back inside. Thanks, Rachel, for that Force of Nature. My name's Michelle Mackey, joining you this Friday morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. And there's plenty to do here. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, let's talk temperatures. We're sitting at that 0-degree mark in the city of Toronto. Much colder when we factor in those wind chills. -1 through Hamilton. As we head further to the north towards Oshawa, we're sitting around that -2 mark. A similar temperature for Kitchener. And it's certainly a cold start to the day in Barrie. Now, I'm in the gift shop right now. I'm probably going to have to start doing my Christmas shopping at some point, since we are less than 20 days away from Christmas. And I am joined now by Joanne, who of course is the owner of Clembrook Christmas Farm. Can you tell me, along with the gift shop and Christmas trees, what are some of the other activities you offer here?
We offer a tractor and wagon ride to the field, weather permitting. Also the bonfire out behind the building, weather permitting. And the gift shop, the snack bar, and Mr. and Mrs. Santa visit on weekends from 11 till 3 for the children.
Ooh, sounds fun. Now, I'm going to throw it back inside.
Of course, I'm on the nice list. No, I'd never be on the naughty list. Never. I'm glad my mother's not around to verify that.
That was Force of Nature. My name is Michelle Mackey, joining you this morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. And it is certainly a cold start to the morning. In the city of Toronto, we're sitting at that 0-degree mark, but when we factor in those wind chill values, feeling closer to -4. So always make sure you're dressing for the wind chill. It's going to be a cold one. Definitely going to need your hats and gloves. As we head further to the south, Hamilton sitting around that -1-degree mark, through Oshawa sitting at -2, Kitchener -3, and it's certainly another cold start to the day in Barrie. Now, the good thing about cold weather is it kind of gets you in the holiday spirit, doesn't it? And that's why we're here today at Clembrook Christmas Farm. There's so much to do. You can buy trees. You can also cut your own Christmas trees. They have horse-drawn carriages. And of course, Mr. and Mrs. Claus come to visit every weekend. And I'm in the gift shop right now. I don't know about you, Tom and Rachel, but I have not started my Christmas shopping. So while I throw it back inside, I think I better get started on that. That was Force of Nature. I'm Michelle Mackey, joining you this Friday morning from Clembrook Christmas Farms. We're going to be talking all about Christmas tree care in just a moment. But first, let's talk about those temperatures. Certainly a cold start to the day in the city of Toronto. We're sitting at 1, but when we factor in those wind chills, feeling closer to -4. So remember, you always want to dress for the wind chill. Heading further to the south, Hamilton sitting around that freezing mark. Oshawa -2. Kitchener also sitting at -2. And it's another cold start to the day in Barrie at -4. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Brad. Brad, you are the owner here at Clembrook Christmas Farm, so you've got to tell us, how can we get the most out of our Christmas trees?
The big thing is to make sure the bottom of the tree has a fresh cut before you put it in the water. Because a lot of people don't realize it'll seal back up within 2 hours after that fresh cut, even though it comes out of the field. So you have to make sure that's drinking water, that tree's drinking water, or it won't live. And with that, of course, is the fact that products such as this do help to tend to make the tree drink more water, which is what you want. And you want 4 liters. You want a capacity to drink at least 4 liters of water. So it's very important that the tree always drink water all the time in the house.
Perfect. Great tip. We'll send it back inside. I hope you are taking care of those Christmas trees. That was Force of Nature. I'm Michelle Mackey, joining you this morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm, and you can certainly feel the Christmas spirit here. I don't know about you, but cold temperatures certainly get me in the holiday spirit. Let's talk temperatures. Through Toronto, we're sitting at 1, but when we factor in that wind chill, certainly going to feel much colder around that -4 mark, so you certainly want to dress for the wind chill. Heading towards Hamilton, similar temperature. Further to the north, Oshawa sitting around that -2 mark. Kitchener also at -2, and it's another cold start to the day as we head to Barrie. All right, now I am joined by Brad, of course. You are the owner here at Clembrook Christmas Farms. Now, with such a wide variety of trees, I've got to ask, what for you makes the perfect choice?
The perfect choice, of course, is a real tree, which we're celebrating today, but the tradition of people. I mean, a lot of people like the longer needles, some like the shorter needles, but the main thing is the perfect tree has to be what you're used to and what you enjoy and what you appreciate in the house. And they can vary with the 8 different types of trees we have on the farm here.
Absolutely. It's all about personal taste. We'll send it back inside. Here's Tom with your traffic report. That was Force of Nature. I'm Michelle Mackey, joining you this morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. Cool start to the day. Right now in Toronto, we're sitting at a similar temperature. Oshawa at -2. Kitchener also sitting at that -2 mark, and it's another cold start to the day in Barrie. Now, there's tons of activities here to do on the farm, one of which happens to be cutting down your own Christmas tree. So I'm going to try my hand at it coming up later. But first, Brad, you're the owner here. You've done this before. Can you give me some tips on how to properly cut down the tree?
Well, there's a weather trip to it, and that is to never always cut away from where the wind is blowing so that the tree doesn't bind up the saw as you cut through it. So that makes it a little bit of weather-related item.
Absolutely, it works for us. Okay, we're going to try our hand at it while Tom gives you your traffic. That was Force of Nature. I'm Michelle Mackey, joining you this morning from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton, and it's certainly a chilly start to the day. Toronto, we're sitting around a 1, but feeling cooler with those wind chills. Down to Hamilton, we're sitting at 0. Oshawa and Kitchener, both around that -2 mark, and another cold start to the day in Barrie at -4. Now, there are plenty of activities to do here on the farm, including cutting down your own Christmas tree. So I am going to try my best to do this, to bring one back to Tom and Rachel Rachel, because I've had so much fun with you this week. So let's try it. I've got Brad behind me grading me on this. Let's see how I do. Woohoo!
Eat.
Wow.
Back to you inside.
Okay.
I couldn't do that with a
Okay.
chainsaw.
Look at that.
Well, yeah, she had that. I think Brad was doing some work prior to that.
I think so. Nonetheless, awesome work out there, Michelle. And that looks like a really good tree. I would have picked that one too.
Well, you may get it. But you want an 18-footer, don't you?
Yeah, I want an 18-footer. So,
Okay.
whatever.
She's got high ceilings in her new condo.
Okay, let's talk about this. 20 days till Christmas. So we sent Michelle Mackey to Clembrook Christmas Farm. And Michelle, a real tree looks great, it smells great, but it's also the environmentally correct choice.
Absolutely, Rachel. The environmentally correct choice, and you know what? It smells great, and it's more Christmassy. It gets you in the Christmas spirit. Yes, here at Clembrook Christmas Farms, and I'm joined by owner Brad. Now, Brad, can you tell us, how can we get the most out of our trees?
The most out of your trees would be easily available as long as you make sure it never runs out of water while it's in the house. And you make sure that cut is fresh before you put it in the house. And the trees, different types of trees will last better than others, but certainly there's no reason why they can't last in the house if you look after it.
Absolutely, and we've got 8 different varieties of trees here, so which one are you going to choose, sending it back inside?
I would choose the most gigantic one, the biggest one there. I love it. Real Christmas trees are great. So we want to get you into the Christmas spirit. And of course, we've sent our reporters to the best Christmas spots, Clembrook Christmas Farms. That's where we join Michelle Mackey right now. Lots of trees cut behind you. Describe the smell, because I'm sure it's great over there.
It's so fragrant, Rachel. I can tell you I am really put into the Christmas spirit. It's the cold temperatures along with the smell of freshly cut Christmas trees that does it for me. Now, I am joined by Brad. You're the owner here at Clembrook Christmas Farms. Now, with all of these trees, you have 8 different varieties. It's probably tough for some people to choose the perfect Christmas tree. So in your opinion, what makes the perfect tree?
Perfect tree is one that the people have grown up with and are used to using. I mean, some of them like the long needles, some like short needles, but it's the tree that they traditionally think of as a Christmas tree, and 8 to 10 or 6 to 8 foot would make a wonderful tree in most houses. So
I like the sounds of that. Bigger the better. I'll send it back inside to you, Rachel. With only 20 days away until Christmas, it's very fitting that I am joining you today from Clembrook Christmas Farm. Plenty of activities for the whole family, and joining me is Joanne. Now, you're the owner here. You own it with your husband. Can you tell me a little bit about what you offer here at the farm?
We offer a tractor and wagon ride to the field for the people gathering their tree, a bonfire, and a snack bar, a gift barn, and Mr. and Mrs. Santa visit on busy weekends from 11 till 3.
That's wonderful. And you also have a variety of different trees. You can cut your own tree as well. So those cold temperatures certainly getting us in the holiday spirit here at Clembrook Christmas Farms. It's a chilly Friday from Clembrook Christmas Farms here in Milton. I'm Michelle Mackey, and I am joined today by Brad. You're the owner of the farm, and I know there's so many activities, but before it was a Christmas farm, can you tell me a little bit about the history?
Well, the history, my dad did farm here with the normal farm produce at the time in the 50s, but today this farm is more suitable for something that is sort of unique because of all the hills and all the escarpment behind us. So, in fact, it's not too productive for the farming that's done today. So, by growing Christmas trees in a different way than in the past, then it's making use of marginal farmland that wouldn't otherwise be used.
Well, you do an incredible job of it. Lots to do here at Clembrook Christmas Farm. We'll send it back inside.
Let's first, though, go and visit Michelle in Milton.
Michelle Mackey joining you from Clembrook Christmas Farm in Milton. I've actually just cut down my very first Christmas tree, and that's one of the many fun activities to do here on the farm. And I'm joined by Brad, the owner. So now that I've cut my Christmas tree down, what are some tips on caring for the tree?
The main tip today is to get it home, get it in the water right away. If you don't, even though it's fresh cut, it'll seal up within 2 hours. So you want to make sure if you don't get it in 2 hours, to take another fresh cut just before you put it in the water. How's that?
Perfect. That sounds great. 20 days until Christmas. I'm going to make it last.
Well, there you go. You only have 2 hour window to get that done, right? Thanks so much for that, Michelle. Let's go now to Kasha
and she's got some special guests with her.